I mean, with so many ad tech vendors, increasingly they seem to be kind of saying the same thing. They're pitching, they all offer end-to-end, they all offer full stack. Does that make data the new battleground, the new differentiator as to, which ad tech vendor somebody should pick?
I think you have to be confident in who you choose and go through that vendor selection process very, very carefully, and then really invest and partner with the chosen vendor. And that's what we did with VOD, and we've seen great success with our relationship with Videology. But also, we've been very mindful of the things that you need, or the spokes that you need to execute a good technology platform. Media relationships is one, data and holistic data integration is the other. Good talented people to work on the business, and operational workflow and process. But also, specifically with VOD, it's going into the advertiser and ensuring that they understand fully and can invest easily into the space.
So when it comes to data, how do you decide who's got the best data? The mix of first party, third party. What are the criteria that you judge that against?
Well, I think Nicholas said it very well in the initial session. It's working with our premium publishers very well for explicit data, looking at individuals who have unique data or vendors who have unique data, combining that and using that with a holistic data position where we are essentially segmenting data in our DMP, and then using the right channels to deliver that marketing message, whether it be across VOD, mobile or display.
So, I mean, we hear most people say there's not yet enough video inventory. Is that your view? Kind of where does it need to get to?
Well, I think it's not such a major issue for us at the moment because we have such good supply relationships, broadcast relationships. I think as the demand flow comes in and VOD particularly, there's more investment. There needs to be more done around content creation, especially with premium publishers, as well as this emergence of this mid-tail, but also easy access to exchange impressions. And I think one of the barriers to the demand side is brand safety. And this is a lesson learned from the display side, is how can we access good brand safe quality impressions across the long tail? And if we can do that very, very easily with VOD, or very quickly with VOD, and the technologies particularly on the supply side, then I think we'll get to a position of liquidity in that market.
If there's not enough video inventory for advertisers, is it a consequence of that advertisers might say, I'll create my own content? And does a programmatic video discussion then become a sort of branded content discussion?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, I think there is that kind of gap that needs to be closed, but I think any additional good content, especially pre-roll content online, is going to help increase the amount of premium content that we can target and deliver on, using our audience segments at scale.
So, I mean, what is the role of creativity in programmatic video sales then? I mean, do creatives out there get it? Is there anything particularly new that they need to get?
Yeah, I think for the creative agencies, there's perhaps a massive education piece to be done around programmatic and what can be done. I think the storytelling element that I mentioned before, is very, very available online, and especially across the different channels. So creating and tailoring marketing messages, dynamic marketing messages, particularly across multi-screens, I think is the future. But in order to enable the creative industries with kind of the view on how to do it, I think it takes us to sort of educate them and empower that kind of conversation.
I mean, a hot topic right now is like the death of cookies. Rest in peace. I mean, that's come about principally because of the rise of distinct mobile devices. But when it comes to video, is that more or less of a problem for video?
I think that's certainly less of a problem. But to go back to your point about mobile, I think definitely there's a lot of work that needs to be done around creating unique identifiers in mobile that can enable you to cross-platform target. But I think the holy grail is the ability to stop talking about channels and actually start talking about how we can target across everything, dependent on the advertiser's requirements and dependent on the advertiser's ambition online. And as Reece mentioned as well, the ROI question, measurability. What do we consider to be good measurable KPIs for advertising campaigns across a number of different platforms?
Well, maybe a thing you would change about programmatic, what would that be?
The word programmatic, probably at the moment we're standing with it. I think it needs a facelift in terms of how it's explained. But And also sort of real-time bidding as a product instead of the protocol that ties it all together, the piping, as it were. So that's what I would change.
How would you sum up its evolution this year?
I mean, it's massive, and you know, when we look at how we're trading across VOD and display, you know, it more and more is going programmatic, and you know, 100% of our VOD is done programmatically in the sense that we are identifying impressions in real time and then targeting those impressions with ads. So, no, it is definitely the future and where it's going to go. So
100% already. Where do you go next year in 2014? How does that change?
Well, then it will be the adoption of more exchange-based sources, right. And how we can trade and publishers can surface their inventory with data attached, specifically around VOD and pre-roll inventory.